What's up, everybody? It's Brandon. I'm back with another Top 5 Thursday. And this Top 5, I had a hard time with this. I was really torn between two of them, but I ended up choosing Willie Moore's Top 5 Natural Disaster Movies. And this was a tough one. Not only because it was kind of hard to narrow down, and also the fact that I realized I don't really love any natural disaster movies, but they're so easy for me to enjoy, I guess you could say. So it's like there's never really, I mean, there's some bad ones, don't get me wrong, but if you tell me there's a natural disaster movie, even if it looks like shit, I can at least turn my brain off and have fun. Even if it looks really good, I can still enjoy it for it being good, obviously. But there's not many of them that I'm like, oh, this is great. They're all just like, there's a bunch of just good ones, you know? So it's hard to narrow it down that way. And then also separating what is a natural disaster and what's like a man-made disaster. Like the Titanic. I was like, I mean, the fucking iceberg is natural, but we kind of took the fucking Titanic to it, you know what I mean? Where also as another movie like Deepwater Horizon, they were like doing the oil mining and shit in there, and that's kind of what brought that on. So it's almost like you almost have to count those out because even though they were natural to an extent, are they really natural disasters? It's kind of like man-made mixed with natural. I don't know. This is a hard one to break down. So if one's not on here, it could be for that reason. And there's also random ones. Like I kind of wanted to throw like the movie that came out recently, Crawl, on here. That's the one with the alligator that's trying to attack, you know, the daughter and the father in the hurricane. Because there's a hurricane going on. And I mean, I guess, you know, crocodiles, alligators, whatever it was, that's natural, right, too. So should that go on here? That's more of an animal attack movie. So I narrowed this down the best I could, guys. At number 5, I'm going to roll with Dantes Peak. And this was a tough one. I don't want to do honorable mentions, but I was really torn on this between Dantes Peak and Volcano. They came out basically like the same year. I think they did come out the same year. Like the same summer, everything. It was like, which volcano movie we going to see tonight, guys? Like you legitimately had to do that when you went to go see a movie. It's like, well, fuck, which one do I want to see? They're both about volcanoes, damn. And honestly, on paper, I would choose the one with Tommy Lee Jones because I like Tommy Lee Jones a hell of a lot more than Pierce Brosnan, personally. But at the end of the day, whereas you can make an argument that Volcano is better, I just have a little more fun with Dantes Peak, I guess you could say. Like, Volcano is a little more serious-ish, where Dantes Peak is a little more self-aware, but Volcano isn't serious-ish in a way to where it's, like, groundbreaking. So, in the context of that, I kind of prefer the more self-aware type vibe I get from Dantes Peak. I can go back and forth with these ones. I can see, I mean, if you ask people, which one do you like better that came out that year, you'd probably get like about 50-50. And honestly, I might sway more towards Volcano depending on my mood. But right now, just thinking back, even though I'm not the biggest Pierce Brosnan fan, I'm sorry, guys, if you're fans of him, and I'm a huge Tommy Lee Jones fan, I think I like Dantes Peak just a little more. I like the action a little more. And again, that self-awareness. I got to go with Dantes Peak at number 5. Sorry, Volcano fans, if you were expecting that on here. We'll make that number 6. I didn't write these out like from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I'm kind of going with it as I go. And if I'm got to go at number 4, shit, I'm going to go with San Andreas. And now this is a movie, if I'm being honest, probably almost shouldn't be on this top 5. Because when I've watched it since the theater, it's just kind of like, meh. I mean, I don't hate it. Like, I have a decent enough time watching it. It would be around this list, but I don't know if it deserves to be on top 5. But when I saw this movie in the theater, like, it might have even been an IMAX, it was like a sight to behold, you know what I mean? And I think it deserves some cooler points for that. The Rock isn't phenomenal, but he fits this role well. And I'm a big Rock fan, so there's that. Yeah, it just happens naturally. Alexandra Daddario is fine as hell, so that's always nice to look at. I'm trying to think of who else was in that. What the hell's his name? Mr. Blank on the spot. Oh my God, who's the fucker in Big Fat Liar that they turned blue? That guy. No, at any other time. He is, good for the time he's in that film. And there's really just some great special effects. You kind of got like the husband and the wife trope where they're not really, feeling each other anymore. But then this natural disaster happens and he kind of wins her back. And it's like, oh my God, mom and dad, we're a family again. Yeah, it's corny, but it does give you something to grab onto. And honestly, I think it's the special effects. That's what does it for me. And seeing it in the way you're supposed to see it at the movie theater, it was a damn good time then. It's an okay time now. Probably deserves to be on a dumb, mindless, fun top 5 such as this. So at number 4, I'm going to roll with San Andreas, but mainly for that theater experience. At number 3, I'm going to roll with Twister. And I know, yes, Twister. You will like that this is at least on here, Willie, with your tornado-loving ass. Yeah, this is one I still enjoy, but when I was a kid, I will say this much, I loved it a whole lot more. I remember that beginning scene where, like, that dad's doing everything he can to, like, hold that fucking door closed so they don't get sucked the fuck up. Yeah, that scene used to, even watching horror movies back then, that scared the shit out of me. I was like, oh, shit. Because my parents were like, yeah, that can happen. I think that's what made me so afraid of Jaws, because normally I'd turn watching a monster movie or something, and my parents like, nah, son, you ain't got to worry about that. I'm like, oh, okay. I watched Jaws. They were like, yeah, I mean, if you were out deep enough. And I was like, what? I watched Twister, and that opening scene happened, and I was like, can you confirm? Is this, can this? Yeah. Ah, fuck, man. Like, this is real? This can fucking happen? Like, how often do these tornadoes come around? You know, I'm a little kid. I don't know shit about tornadoes at the time. Kind of tripped me out. That opening scene always was very effective. And honestly, I know, Willie, you always kind of even talked about, like, I'd love to be like a storm chaser. Now, I didn't grow up and got that deep into it, but I always did enjoy, like, watching them do their job. Like, I'm the type that, like, this is cool, but let me watch from a distance. So I did enjoy that part of the movie. It's got a stellar fucking cast. I mean, Bill Paxton, R.I.P., Philip Seymour Hoffman, R.I.P., Helen Hunt. That is who's in that movie, right? I'm not blanking that hard. Yeah, and there's just, it's a good cast. It's about as good of a movie you can get with this style of movie. Like, I mean, there's only so much you can do. Like, these dudes are going to chase around some twisters, as they call it. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a fun time. I don't love it like I used to, but it's good. It's solid shit. At number 2, The Perfect Storm. This one is a weird one because it took me about 8 watches in my life to even enjoy it. Now that I've seen it probably like 15 times, I highly enjoy it. I remember right when like DVD players were coming out, or at least when our broke asses finally got a DVD player and we upgraded from VHS, I had 2 movies. No, I had 3 movies. I had Spies Like Us, I had The Road to El Dorado, and I had The Perfect Storm. That was all coming out around that time, maybe like 98 or some shit. Early 2000s at most. I don't know when these fucking movies came out. Somewhere in that range. And I remember just because they were DVDs and I was just hyped off like, it's all on this disc, I would watch those 3 movies constantly. Spies Like Us got old really quick. Now it's a pretty quality comedy with comedy legends. The Road to El Dorado, thoroughly enjoyed. Still really like that movie. And then my dumb ass, you know, maybe from loving Jaws so much, just wanted more shark action in The Perfect Storm, even though that's not what it's about. And then that one scene where the shark popped up on the boat, I was like, finally! And I'm like, see? You went away from that? Are you kidding me? That's your movie right there. Stupid filmmakers. Man, listen to the 7-year-old, right? Whatever. You know, you have dumb, unrealistic things you want in movies when you're that age. I don't know if you've ever checked yourself like that, where you're watching a movie that you used to be in the frame of mind like, dude, I used to wish this movie went this route. How dumb would that be now that I'm an adult? Yeah, I have a lot of those. But beyond that, though, it just didn't entertain me for whatever reason. But as I got older and kept trying it out again, every few or so years, I'm like, man, I bet I like this now. Oh, no, still not. Bet I like this now. Oh, no, still not. And then finally, like maybe 5 years ago, it finally clicked, dude. I just love the cast. I kind of love like the love story-ish behind it, you know, where all those people they left behind have a connection to them on the boat. That last scene where Clooney's kind of like under the water, spoiler alert, and then you get Mark Wahlberg and like the biggest fucking waves you've ever seen, barely staying afloat, like talking in his head. There's some powerful shit there, man. And there's some good shit there. I enjoy The Perfect Storm, and it's cool at number 2. And at number 1, I'm about to disappoint everybody. This is a movie I really enjoy, as my brother walks in the door. That movie would have to be Daylight. Yes. And I don't even know if this deserves number 1, but I think it deserves more credit, so it's my number 1. Fucking deal with it. Daylight is an interesting movie where these people are basically stuck in a tunnel, and Sylvester Stallone is your classic, like, you're not on the force anymore. Stop overdoing what you can do kind of guy. Whereas Sylvester Stallone's like, I'm the guy that can help. You know, Sylvester Stallone stuff. And he basically attempts, the whole movie takes place in like this tunnel with shit exploding everywhere slowly. And basically the tunnel's a ticking time bomb. And Sylvester Stallone is this guy that has to find a way to save everybody in that motherfucker. And there's also Viggo Mortensen in the movie in an earlier role. That's pretty good. And honestly, man, it's just, I mean, there's not much more to it than that. It's your classic disaster movie. But I've always thought it deserves more credit. Maybe that's because I'm a huge Sylvester Stallone fan, and I can be a little more forgiving than other people. You know, back when he was in his prime, he could do no wrong to me. I mean, come on, man. It was sly. So for me, disaster movie, interesting enough explosions. Add in somebody that was one of my personal superheroes growing up, because I didn't fuck with Marvel. I fucked with Schwarzenegger, Stallone, Van Damme, Seagal. You get the picture. Bruce Willis. Those were my superheroes, man. So seeing Stallone in that level in terms of it was well done budget-wise and shit was exploding at a nice clip, really set that movie over the top for me. I don't know if it necessarily deserves, on an objective ranking, a number 1 disaster movie ranking, but I have a hell of a lot of fun with it, and where I'm kind of torn on where to rank these, I'm going to give Daylight, I'm going to throw it a bone, because that's like one of the least talked about Sylvester Stallone movies, and I think it deserves to be talked about more. I really do. It is a quality movie from him, and most people hate it or don't know about it. Watch Daylight if you like natural disaster movies. You might enjoy it. And there's a bunch of other ones, guys. There's a bunch of other ones. Definitely. Okay. Well, Willie Moore, I hope this tickled your fancy, brother. I know you'll at least be happy to see that Twister made the list. Here comes my daughter. I'm going to hop off here before she starts cussing. She is evil. Ew. Do it. Ew. What are you doing? You always coming in on my videos. You know, you got to pay me if you want this screen time. Yeah, okay. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Thanks for killing in the group. Thanks for the top 5 Willie Moore, my dog. Keep watching the vids, man. Keep helping us out any way you can, dude. We're desperate. No, we appreciate it, though, for real. We really do. Love you guys, man. Keep that movie banner going.